I don't know what happened to LunaSea. He was here. We did our vetoes, but he's not in the game. Where is our man? Where is our gamer? LunaSea. LunaSea. I'm here. Alright. Let's go ahead and join the game then. $60 for the winner of this best of 5 and 15 for the loser as we get ready to kick off the Big Brain Bouts number 95. I could put on the lights on my desktop. Hey, I think I have the wrong overlay, by the way, as a gamer. Let me fix that quickly. Alerts off, chat off, BBB in-game, single cam, bam. Now we've got the right overlay. Alright, Cham is ready, LunaSea is ready. Let's do it. Friday night, Big Brain Bouts. Yeah, getting close to 100, and now it seems like 100 is suddenly many months away because of all the Fridays that will be busy. I think this summer is just going to be madness for Starcraft. And this is like not even taking into consideration potential qualifiers and whatnot. Like maybe the 20th of June, oh, free Friday, right? Like, well, what if there is a EWC qualifier? Then we can't run BBB either. It's alright. We're gonna make next Friday count. We're gonna make this Friday count. And then we have a million other things to get excited over, which will also be awesome. And after that, we'll see. Alright, LunaSea is ready. I'm ready. Indy's asking if Roddy is ready. Funka isn't in. He's probably doing other stuff. Yeah. Alright, Indy says go. I'll say go. First time ever we've got LunaSea, one of the few Korean players that is somewhat active, that is, I would say, not incredibly well known. I also don't know a whole lot about his playstyle. I don't know. I just thought it would be fun because he is active, just like Rebellion and Percival. Like, they're not the big stars, but they are somewhat active. I thought these guys deserve some love too. I reached out to him and he said yes immediately. He is down for it. The good news for LunaSea is that he always walks away with 15 buckies, but Cham is a bit of a beast, especially on the Friday nights, especially in the Big Brain Bouts. A couple of the Europeans have DM'd me in the past saying like, Roddy, I think you're underestimating Cham. It's like, nah. I know he's good. He's just always available. And yeah, we have a million Protoss players that want to play. I don't have a million Zergs. So, naturally, I will gravitate a little bit more towards Cham. Because he's awesome. And Cham is also somebody with like ups and downs. So, he's never, I think, the overwhelming favorite. Unless we play against somebody that's truly out of practice. I think tonight, he is a favorite. It could be a 3-0. And then I don't know, maybe I overestimated LunaSea, but in my mind, with how good Protoss is and a couple of the things I've seen from LunaSea, he should be able to make Cham work for it at least. And hopefully we get to see some exciting games. Let's do it.
Let's get it on.
That was literally 30 minutes to Gamba, mate. 30 minutes.
Round 1, fight.
We had a 30-minute prediction. If you cannot get it in 30 minutes, well, then it's honestly your loss. Top left side for the first time ever making his debut in the Big Brain Bouts. We are looking at the main base of our Korean Protoss. It is LunaSea. Welcome, LunaSea. Another gamer that we can officially welcome to the Big Brain Bouts. Bottom right side, I don't think he's making his debut. I think he is definitely the most frequent player in the last 30 or 40 weeks of the Big Brain Bouts. And in the first, 60, I got him a couple times. Not too often, but especially I think in the last 12 months, I can't really think of anybody who has played more than this man. It's our Mexican Zerg. It's Cham. Cool logo, by the way. Xer? What can you guys tell me about Xer? It looks a little bit like the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't know how they're doing in the playoffs. I think they took a 1-0 lead. But I know that game 2 has been played, and I don't know if they won or lost that one. What can we expect from LunaSea? One lovely individual in the chat said he likes to all in. That's Sep. I don't know. I believe it, but I think that goes for a lot of Protoss players. I think unless your name is Max or ShoWTime, you're more often than not on the aggressive spectrum. This is how a lot of people like to play Toss. I think Toss is very good momentum. Ooh, robot. Okay. I can live with that. I think if you guys say, Roddy, I think it's 3-1 Cham. I think that's perfectly fine. I can live with that. I didn't really know, right? It's a Korean Protoss. It's I didn't want to do PvP because we already get to see so much PvP. I couldn't really think of many other Zergs. I figured that young Yakov would be a bit too good. I don't know. I actually tried to get Eric or Eggs. I think those two maybe would have been slightly better candidates, but both of them were unavailable. Yeah, Eggs was available, but he let me know on Friday morning. That's a little bit too late. So I tried Eric. He couldn't play. I tried Eggs. He didn't see it in time, or he just thought he couldn't play. Eventually he could play. Now I was like, alright, I really need a Zerg right now. Let's go with Cham. Why not Cham? No, I think Mixu is very good. I think Mixu is very, very good. Epic Cham would have been fun too. It's alright, guys. Let's just see how LunaSea does against Cham. It's a fun, unique matchup. I don't know how many times these two guys have played against each other in the history. I didn't check a legal but I'd be surprised if it's more than like 2 or 3. I can safely say that this is the first time I ever get to see LunaSea versus Cham. Let's hope it's good. Decided to suicide his very first adept. Got 1 drone. Not in love with that trade, but okay. Cham, I think in the past was known to be a bit of a greedy boy. Now this War Prism is going to give high ground vision to the Stalker. We can obviously pick the Stalker up as well, drop it on the other side. So we get an Overlord. Jumi is a big boy. Jumi is a main event kind of big boy. We're trying to get that Stalker. I saw he won another community tournament, and that is why. Jumi is our main event star tonight. Is he the underdog? Yes, he's the underdog. But is anybody gonna count Jumi out? Because I'm not counting him out. They have 4 series played on a League Elect, 3-1 Cham, but 3 of them are from 4 years ago. Okay. Man, that LunaSea has even been playing actively for 4 years. Surprises me. I guess all these names are just eternal in Starcraft. You see them once and they never really leave. Robo first, guys. The Robo instead of the Twilight Council, which is somewhat common, instead of the Stargate, which is mega common. I mean, if this is just a build that he believes in, that he thinks he's incredibly good with, sure. It is indeed going to be very committed, very all-in-y. There are very few scenarios where you open up with 6, 7, 8 gateways, Immortals, War Prism, 2-base setup, and the game goes on. Like, I think 98% of the time after this first move out of LunaSea, that is the game. It is an old school timing attack. Back in Wings of Liberty, back in the heart of the swarm, we didn't know any better. So Meso Chobo, I actually think he's got a shot. This goes for a couple of guys, but I think Jumi, I've said this before on another night, I think Jumi has a shot. I think he's an underdog, because I think he's more likely to play somewhere, let's say like 18 to 28, right? 32. But I do absolutely believe that, especially if you keep playing on this current version, that Jumi's got a real shot. So LunaSea is going to go for it, guys. It's a bit of a modern version of the Soul Train. We've got Zealot Charge as well. We've got +1. Yeah, I kind of think that Cham has the exact right amount of drones. 54. Nothing but roaches, nothing but ravages. I know that if I was LunaSea, I would never win this in a million years. Good news for LunaSea is that he's not me. And hopefully he's better. It's going to be tough. I think it's going to be really, really tough for LunaSea to make this work. But if he does make it work, he is a legend. He is going to use some hold position. Okay, force field. We grab a couple roaches. We lose 1 sentry there. That's a little bit unfortunate. A lot of units are stuck on the left side. These Zealots are going to have a field day in the natural. There are a bunch of queens. I would have loved to see more Zealots on top of those queens. Every second that goes by right now, I do think is a big one for Cham. Oh, if only these Zealots guys would have been here on this surface area. It would have been so much better, but doesn't move. Okay. Oh, nice force fields. Grabs a roach, grabs a ravager, grabs another roach. And I kind of thought that Cham had a perfect answer for this build, but Azura said this build is really good. It does look really good. All 4 Immortals are still healthy. LunaSea may be down 20-30 supply, but that is 4 mega healthy Immortals. Queen count is 5. As long as we don't donate the War Prism, I think we can do this. I really think we can do this as long as we don't donate the War Prism. We have not taken a minor worker lead, but we don't look for a minor worker lead. We look for a big worker lead. Finally, 1 Immortal has taken some damage. 1 Immortal may fall. Second Immortal fall. Third Immortal fall. Why did the War Prism never come? Why did the War Prism never come? It looked very promising. Looked good for a while. But not bringing the Prism over to get those warp ins a little bit quicker. And I think a big missed opportunity were the Zealots here. We had 4 or 5 Zealots rallied up in this tiny choke point. While if they would have all gone around, would have gotten max surface area on the Queens, I think it would have gone a lot better. A very low HP Evo Chamber. Maybe the Roach Warren could have died, right? We did a lot of damage to an Evo Chamber. We did a lot of damage to a Roach Warren. I mean, Cham obviously did take economic damage, but since he kept all the bases alive, he kept the Queens alive, I think Cham is okay. But maybe Coco's second wave is back on the menu. And what if the second wave is a whole lot more powerful than the first? At first, guys, I didn't believe at all. Then I kind of started believing, and then I really believed. And then it went wrong. LunaSea clearly did a couple of things quite right, and I would say that Cham was in a very uncomfortable position. I don't know if I believe in the second wave, but we will have +2. Such a shame that the Warp Prism didn't even come over to pick up like 2 Immortals. Like, let's say we start losing that fight, but after all that damage, if we were able to save 2 Immortals that were relatively healthy, maybe the second wave would have been a lot more powerful. Cham fires up Roaches with Tunnel and Close. At least it's a fun first game here between these 2 gamers. Bit of a slow and steady start, but yeah, exactly. Maybe you pick off the Evo Chamber, you pick off the Roach one as well, then maybe the eventual cleanup would have been a little bit less effective on the side of Cham. I don't know. Honestly, I think the biggest point were the Zealots here. If he splits off 7 Zealots and they get the wraparound around 5 Queens and there are 0 Roaches to tank, I think that's just mega. No matter how much energy these Queens have, these Queens would have died rather quickly. I think that was the biggest missed opportunity. And then indeed, a couple of other things could have gone a tiny bit better. Towards the end, we should have brought over the Prism. But hey, down 50 supply, but we've got Force Wheels, we've got Immortals, we've got +2. Unfortunately, we're going to have to worry about Banelings. And Banelings are obviously really good against Sentries and Zealots. And even against Immortals. Like, once the Banelings connect and they can activate all the barriers, it's not that bad either. The most difficult thing for Roach Ravager is often to chew their way through these barriers. If these barriers get activated immediately by 1 or 2 Banes, it's already good. Cham has burrowed a bunch of Roaches that are going to make their way into the mineral line on the other side of the map. At least the natural, the third as well. Maybe even the main. So in all 3 bases at once, Cham will start killing probes. This is the army, LunaSea. I think going home is completely pointless. The moment we turn around, we are Omega dead. We gotta go. We gotta send it. Roaches on burrow in the natural, on burrow in the main, on burrow in the third. Like, you can't even pull your workers anywhere. Just go. No! I don't like the recall at all. I do not like the recall. I don't know if he could have won, guys. Don't get me wrong, but I think recalling is a really big mistake. Like, this is actually going quite well. A couple of decent force fields trapped a lot of these Banelings. Recalling is a really, really big mistake. It's gonna take minutes to clean all of this up. And then by the time you clean it up, there is a new set of Roaches crawling to the other side of the map. Yes, CC, that is correct. Cham has that, Maples has it. A few guys suffered from that because they made the terrible mistake of playing in a 4v4 tournament. And apparently there are some gamers out there in 4v4 that really don't like losing. The moment that they lose, they report everybody that beats them. And because nobody is working on Battle.net, Battle.net just like, oh, if 10 people report them, they must be bad. So then you get muted immediately. Recalling is such a silly choice, I'd say. It's alright, I get it, right? Maybe some nerves, some pressure. It is what it is. We all make mistakes, but recalling was never ever the play there. Because we're always dead if we go home. I don't know if we win the game with our army, but we're always dead the moment we go home. Hello, Space Marine. That is a crazy amount of force fields, but eventually these entries will run out of energy, and Cham with Roaches, Lynx, Ravagers, and Banelings is gonna take a pretty convincing 1-0 lead in the end. Let's just go back to that one moment, guys. 2 moments, maybe. I don't have too much time, but I have a little bit of time. Because that first attack was really quite promising. Like, I think here, if you drop these force fields, like, that is a decent amount of zealots. If these zealots just get on top of the queens, it's so sad to see them drop like this. One, and he's killing a couple drones, but these three are just doing nothing. And maybe if these zealots would have done something else, either you kill 5 more drones, or maybe you make your way through the queens, but it's alright. You and 3 bodies beat a lot of these 0 loss 4v4 players. And did you get reported as well? I don't know what the story is exactly, but that is basically the story. A couple of the guys got muted for beating a few of these try-hard 4v4 players that do not like losing. And since nobody is actively reviewing these reports, there are obviously plenty of people that should get muted. I don't think that Cham is one of them. I see TKO is here now as well. Is Lambo Hero being played today, guys, or not? Because now I am confused. I want to watch that back. Lambo in a tournament final against Hero. I think that's entertainment. Hero obviously the favorite, but I always believe in Lambo in those moments. Oh, they already played, so it's a... Is it a replay cast then? Or is it just not being broadcasted today? Or do we already know the score and I'm just the one who doesn't know? I'm gonna watch it back anyway. It's a replay cast. And they're doing it tonight? I mean, I'm surprised at TKO. No spoilers. I don't know the score, mate. I'm curious. I'm a fan just like you. Alrighty. Here we go. Round 2, first of 4. Best of 5s tonight in the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts. Here we go.
Round 2. Fight!
Persephone. According to Bully. If that's wrong, guys, Bully is wrong, not me. Bottom left side, they're taking the one only. It's our Mexican Zerg, who always pops off on the Friday night. Always plays well in the Big Brain Bouts. And I am sure that if I ever make it to Mexico again, that this man will give me a very warm welcome with a bunch of tacos for all those invites on the Friday night. This is Cham. Top left side of Persephone, we are looking at the main base of our Korean Protoss, going for that Robo all-in the first game. I didn't hate it, and honestly, he made it kinda close. It's one of these builds where, similar to maybe 3-gate Robo in PvP, if you practice it enough and you do it over and over and over again, you can get damn good with it. And since not a lot of players play it, it can be a bit uncomfortable for the defender. I don't know if he's gonna do that every single game in this series, but I wouldn't hate seeing it once more, because I think we got close enough that we can justify doing it once more. It's our Korean Protoss making his debut in LunaSea. I don't think LunaSea is like mega young, by the way. Hey, he's been around for a while at this point, and just a couple of these guys got better when they got older. It's not that we have a bunch of 12-year-olds in Korea playing Starcraft, but a few of them just like slowly but steady kept on progressing and made that rise through the ranks where they can eventually not necessarily duke it out with Serral and Maru, but duke it out with a tier of gamers below that. Tomorrow, by the way, guys, mega exciting. There are some GSL qualifiers. Now, I don't know if we can watch it live. By first sounds, I think the answer to that question is no. But we should be able to get some updates. Obviously, very exciting for me because we have Trigger and Reynor. I think both of them are going to make it. I'm not too worried. I think they're both mega good. But it's one of these things where I just kind of want to see them get it done. And the moment they get it done, woohoo! I saw that the season is very, very, very short. It's like, what, a 2-week season or not even? But I always expected GSL to be very, very different this year. To be honest, I said it a few times. I didn't even think GSL was coming back for this year. But I think EWC has a lot to do with it, why it's back. And yeah, it's I think it's going to be very exciting. It's just not the same as it was in the past. But I think that's always going to be the case anyway, since obviously it's no longer Tastosis, right? I think State is awesome, Gemini is awesome. But obviously the GSL that a lot of people grew up with is Tasteless and Artosis. Even with only 12 players, I think they can both make it. As long as the bracket is not like a single limb mega brutal bracket where Trigger somehow runs into like Reynor or Beyond or Maru in the first round. But even then, Trigger's got a shot against anybody at this point. Maybe Hero and PvP be very tough. Dark is always tough. LunaSea, by the way, guys, opening up with a very, very quick Dark Shrine. He's doing definitely things very different than most Protoss players currently do. So it's a 2-gate, ultra quick Dark Shrine opening. And LunaSea seems like an exciting guy when it comes to at least not seeing the same opening in the same builds over and over again. I don't really mind it, because I think at one point that's just kind of how StarCraft 2 gets played at the highest level. Like, I don't get angry if Magnus Carlsen opens up with D4 or E4, right? Where it's like, oh, he does it again. It's like, well, yeah, that's just really good. I have peace with that. But I also think it is fun when you watch these guys that apparently are very comfortable with completely different openings. Now, Cham is going to play this one very safe. He is in the dark. I think maybe he has a feeling that this Warp Prism is fake. And because it is fake, he seems to be a little concerned about something like DTs. Yeah, especially after going for a real... wow, Shadow Strike. Cham has already seen it, though. I think at this point, guys, Cham has already seen it. Now you want to be careful, LunaSea. You really don't want to see these get surrounded immediately. Please be careful. The man has got spores. No! Okay. And we are going to YOLO one in the natural. What can we get done here? Not much. I don't even think recalling now. That is a bit unfortunate for LunaSea. Is he, guys, going to potentially pull a... was it Classic from BlizzCon? DTs, a Shadow Strike, blink into the main, kill the spore, kill the main. Wow, double blink on the production tab. You see this so rarely. You see this so... Alright. So I think what LunaSea is doing right now is honestly rather cute. But I think it's incredibly hard to make these kind of builds work. What the hell is our man cooking? He's opening up with 5 DTs. And blink. There's no shield battery in the natural, so the Stalker is potentially in a tiny bit of trouble. Earlier the prism was fake, this prism is still fake because we don't have a robo. DTs I think are really thinking about making YOLO blink, but there's a Overseer morphing as well. I think Cham's got a pretty good read on it. They are gonna blink forward, but there is an Overseer. Excellent read by Cham. Cham read this really well. That is a good Archon morph. Hope both of them... Oh! No, one of them died. Yeah, it is rough. Honestly, I can see this build work in a million different scenarios. Unfortunately, Cham seems to be pretty dialed in. He's always bringing his A game in the big brain bouts. He loves the format of a single best of 5 and getting paid immediately. And Cham is clearly playing this one very, very safe. Maybe he's done some homework as well on LunaSea. And he just kind of knows what he has to worry about. It's like an uncharacteristically safe game on the side of Cham. I'm a bit worried for LunaSea. I don't think that he really has had the kind of game where he can now start being aggressive. Obviously, Blink Stalkers are good and all, but we just used the recall, so we cannot use another recall to save this Archon. Archons are not the quickest units out there. Like, if this was a poke with pure Stalkers, I'm like, okay, but... Or maybe he's worried that if it's pure Stalker, they can just get surrounded by Zerglings. A couple of drones have died. He's so stuck. Okay, he can escape maybe through the speed zones. Few more Stalkers, a little bit misread late. LunaSea, I think, derping a little bit. You can see him panicking there for a split second. The Lings are going to be incredibly quick through these speed zones. I mean, 70 workers is not bad. Not bad at all. Economically, the game looks okay for LunaSea. Tech-wise, almost looks okay. Just right now, the numbers are not really there yet. Our Korean Protoss needs a bigger army. He's still getting more DTs as well. I mean, it's not bad right now. I'm just afraid that... yeah, he used the healing fountain with the DTs, so I think he knows. He already put all 3 of them on the healing path earlier. I mean, we are kind of reaching that phase though where it feels that Cham is the one who needs to make something happen, to be fair. And if Cham doesn't make something happen soon and LunaSea can go from 58 army supply to 100, the game doesn't look bad for LunaSea. But LunaSea is still attacking even though he's got a much smaller army. I think he really does want to battle near this healing pad. We are very far off creep at this point. I think we lack numbers. We just lack the numbers a little bit. Like, we're attacking with 50 something supply into a Zerg. A lair tech Zerg with 110. It's a bit of a shame for LunaSea, who's now investing in double Stargate, but I'm afraid that is also the wrong moment. The micro is a little bit sloppy too, as he loses a few Stalkers for the second time in this game. I think he was distracted by those roaches and lings in the top right side. Honestly, guys, this game could have gone somewhere. Something could have gone right. Maybe snipe the Overseer, warp some DTs. Like, we've got Blink Stalkers, we've got Blink DTs as well. Let's not forget about that. He might be able to hold because Cham is sitting on a lot of money. We use energy recharge. That is a great defense. One Baneling does kind of sneak in, but he only loses 4 probes. That is legitimately very well done by LunaSea. It almost looked like he was going to lose everything. He's going double Oracle in a 10-minute game. What a guy! Double Oracle in a 10-minute game after Blink DT, Blink Stalkers. I think I love LunaSea, guys. His healing pad is so good. LunaSea is most certainly a gamer. Opens up with DTs, goes Blink DTs, goes Blink Stalker, keeps on expanding like there's not a worry in the world, keeps on attacking while being down 50 army supply, and now very casually transitions into double Oracle in an 11-minute game. Cham has a Hydralisk then, fires up 7 Hydras. These Hydras, the Hydra then went down, I don't know, maybe like a minute ago, even less. I think Cham's idea was obviously to go Lurkers, as Lurkers are mega powerful against Stalkers and Gateway units. And I think he noticed a lack of Robo units. Now suddenly we can use Hydras to deal with Oracles. That's... LunaSea is a modern day version of Haas. And he does it better. Good warp in here as well. I mean, Luna is a gamer. If he wins this game, I'll be so damn impressed. Unless it'd be mega sick. He's got 7 Oracles now. Blink Stalkers, Blink DTs, a Zolol charge, and 7 Oracles. He's going full Haas. The man is literally going full Haas. Cham thinks of a Roachling, Baneling. Warpin is not perfect. Those are adapts that are going to die very quick as well. But hey, this is maybe where we can use those 7 Oracles. As they activate Pulsar Beam, we are going to lose a lot of workers though against the Banelings. That is always inevitable. And at the same time, Cham is going to strike this base in the center. Stalkers are going to win the fight against a couple of Roaches and the Ravaging in the top right. Nice little 1-2 by Cham. I don't think that Cham is ever going to win the game here, but... as long as he's... I don't know if he can do this. The Oracle count, I think, is way too high. I think Oracles, where are you? We have 8 Oracles. Let's go. Refuel, please. Careful with the Stalkers. Let's not lose all the Stalkers. The man's got no anti-air here. LunaSea does not care. Didn't want to wait for 7 Oracles. Just blinked into them. Without a worry in the world, the Nexus does fall at the absolute last second. Honestly, they have both been sitting on a lot of money for a little while. I'm just kind of wondering where LunaSea is planning on taking this, because a Stalker Oracle is not going to beat Lurker Hydra. It can win a fight if the numbers are low on the Zerg side, but the numbers are no longer that low. 29 Hydras. That is... no, don't do this. You cannot do this. Oh, LunaSea, one hell of a build, mate. And honestly, I think he got a bit unlucky. I think if any of the move-outs, any of the original plans would have just actually caught his opponent off guard, he would have been able to find a crazy amount of damage, and I can definitely see this snowballing, and I can see it going his way. Now everything went wrong, and at one point the game didn't even look that bad for him. Just in the end maybe overreacted a little bit to that Ling Roach Bane attack into the natural and then losing the center base, and now he panicked. Cham, a little too solid in the end. to fall apart against these wild tactics of our Korean Protoss LunaSea. But honestly, 10 out of 10 on the creativity skill. And the execution wasn't all that bad either. This is the Cham is really good. Unfortunate, but honestly, I appreciate the effort. This was as creative as anything could be coming out of a Protoss. Final Stalkers are battling. We do still have a couple of Oracles in the sky, but obviously Cham at this point, guys, has too many units. He's across all the different bases, the remaining bases of LunaSea. And after 14 minutes and 11 seconds of honestly 6, 7, 8 things that if one of them would have gone LunaSea's way, it could have been a LunaSea. It is still Cham in the end who's going to take the 2-0 lead. It's very rarely do I look at a game and I was like, man, I really wish that I would have had a different outcome. This was all so fun and cool and creative that I absolutely wish that Cham would have just messed up one time. There's a reason why these builds are not meta, and that is because these scenarios exist. And especially the better your opponent becomes, the more likely it is that they will always be ready because they've got great game sense. But yeah, it's still fun to see LunaSea try. And clearly has a lot of good moves. Also had 1 or 2 really good holds. It's almost a shame that he continues to be so aggressive with the Stalkers rather than at one point slowing the game down. Maybe trying to go Storm. Maybe trying to go for something out of the Robo. Yeah, he's honestly doing quite good. Even if he's down 0-2, I think he's doing quite good. I hope he wins the next one. He deserves it. I would agree with the potential being there. And obviously we don't want to start the night off with a 3-0. What am I? Bully? Thank you, Bodie87, mate. I assume that you're born in 87. Hey, go to Gier. All the goats from 87. I think even Messi is from 87. Coincidence? I think not. Who else was from 87? Was it Ovechkin? 3-2 reverse sweep. That would be very surprising. I just hope it's not a 3-0. If it's not a 3-0, I'm happy. And honestly, I do think that LunaSea has already shown us some fun things, even if it didn't go his way. It's just really hard, man, to be like fun and creative and different in the year 2025 against the best Zergs out there. If you play at a lower level, you can obviously be as fun and wild and creative as you want to be. And there will be more errors, and more errors leave room for you to get away with the crazy stuff. Cham is not a man who's going to make a whole lot of errors, especially not in the big brain bouts. But well, let's see. Game 3, Maganatha. Maybe this one is meant for the Korean Protoss.
Round 3. Fight.
Down 0-2, but definitely stealing a few nerd hearts over here. He has already stolen mine. I am from here on out officially a fan of our Korean Protoss, LunaSea. Gave him a very tough opponent. Can always bring him back. I want to say sometime soon, but it's either next week or it's like never. Well, not never, but it would take forever. I don't know if I can really do back-to-back weeks. But we won't forget about him, and if after the summer all the craziness is slowed down a little bit, and we can continue with all our BBVs, I think it would be fine to invite LunaSea again. Give him someone a couple 100 points lower than Cham, and it's all good. Bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of our Mexican Zerg. So far, he is not here to entertain us. But that's not his job. His job is to win. It's Cham. Probably dreaming of winning that Latin American slot at EWC. It's gonna be like the most hyped Cham versus Juanito series ever. Maybe Calazur will try his luck in that one as well. Diego has not been ultra active though over the last, let's say, 6 months. I've asked Calazur a couple times for the big brain bouts, but he said, sorry, Roddy, I'm not really playing, and I feel like I wouldn't do good. I'm sure that will change the closer we get to a big region locked qualifier, but right now, Cham might actually be the favorite. Even though Juanito is becoming more active and he's playing more again. I don't even know if they have a Latin American qualifier. They definitely have an NA qualifier. NA qualifiers, I think, are a lot more difficult, because then you have to worry about Australia, Trigger, Protoss nightmares, guys. Protoss nightmares. Yeah, if it's just NA, then it's tough. It's not impossible. Cham and Trigger have some history. I don't know if any of you guys remember the spiciness that they had back then in the regionals. And then they had a match in, I think, the WTL season as well. And there were some dancing units involved. I mean, I believe that Trigger can qualify for GSL quotas. I really absolutely believe in that, and that's not biased. I don't know if top 2 in his first season ever in GSL quotas, if that's realistic. Is it impossible? No, I'm absolutely not going to say that it's impossible, but I love Trigger and I'll be rooting for him every single game. I'll stay up till 4 or 5 a.m. to watch it live. I promise you guys that, if he makes it. But I don't know if it's likely that he's going to make top 2 in the season. Got a couple of first time, by the way, guys, that we have a very standard opening coming out of LunaSea. Just a few adapts into a Stargate, into an Oracle. I don't know for how long it is going to be very normal and standard, but 2 seasons next month, so it sounds like a champion from each season qualifies. Okay, that would make it even more difficult to qualify to GSL. Wouldn't it be something, guys, if Trigger actually becomes the first Royal Rotor in forever? So, okay, so they run 2 seasons. They're both very short seasons, and the winner of GSL qualifies. It's going to be very exciting, because all the Europeans will definitely be rooting their hearts out for Reynor, hoping that Reynor wins GSL Code S, because that means that an extra European makes it, as Reynor made it through GSL. I don't know what the answer is to that question, Leroy. That is a question that I have as well, for instance, for the Stara Zagora, right? Bellum's Gem Elite. What happens if whoever wins Bellum's Gem Elite is already qualified? Does it go to the second guy, but or he's already qualified? Do we just go down the list? Will it always be someone from that tournament? Because if so, the Bellum's Gem Elite is actually going to be ultra exciting for some nerds, because at that point, a lot of people, a lot of top players are already qualified. Let's not forget that Clem is already qualified, because he won last year anyway. It goes directly to Inex. Let's see, Inex. You get a 3-0 tonight over Deka. We are allowed to dream about EWC. What if, like, literally everybody that made it to Bellum's Gem Elite is already qualified at that point, and the slot just goes so far down that we have Nidix at the Esports World Cup? Nidix goes to BWE, loses every game, but still directly qualifies for EWC, and then gets $15,000 for going to EWC and losing every game. He will literally be the best loser on this planet, and I'd be so jealous. Because he peaked in Bulgarian Starcraft. We have Zelal Charge and +1 as a follow-up, guys. Cham has tried to take this base in the bottom left side. This base is so far out there. Normally it's incredibly difficult to keep this base alive. We also obviously have this one. This is a bit more reliable. You would say that the 5th base here, this one should have probably been over here, no? And a 20k bonus, yeah, because he's going to be very creative. Best strategy. Nidix is walking away with 70k after the summer, guys. He's going to get 20k for the coolest strat. He's going to get 20k for the best play. Nidix is going to be a top 3 earner of StarCraft in 2025. He doesn't know it yet, but the future is so bright for a Bulgarian Zerg. Hopefully it's not over in 4 minutes. I don't think this game is over in 4 minutes, but Cham does have a lot of units, and LunaSea needs to start spending his money. He is doing that right now with a big old stock of Warpin. But without Blink, it's always difficult to hold against this many roaches. I would say at this point, don't even worry about going up to 4 bases, mate. Just chill. Just focus on this 3 base defense. Doesn't look too bad, I think, for LunaSea. Like, we have to survive 20, 30 very scary seconds. I wouldn't even hate a Desperation Void right here, by the way, guys. Honestly, a Diamond League for all with supply block with a bunch of money in the bank. I don't like it, because here is Cham. Blink not ready yet, +2 not ready yet. But these oracles have already done a very decent amount of damage. Can LunaSea, the man who has impressed us with his creativity, pull off the hold here? 10-15 seconds away from blink. Just don't get surrounded. The roaches are going to get on top of a couple of the stalkers. As long as we... Why is our void ray? Ah, this is so painful. We can't blink. I hate it when we can't blink. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Cham hits a razor sharp timing. That is so unfortunate for LunaSea. That supply block, I think, kind of killed him. Now he builds the Diamond League Void Ray that I wish we would have seen a little while ago. Well, we have already lost our stalkers. We have already lost 29 probes. Oh. That's a shame. That legitimately is a shame. Because I felt that in every single game there was some potential for LunaSea, where that first game, 1 or 2 minor changes, and perhaps his attack goes better. In game 2, you need a little bit of luck with that strat, but maybe if we don't do this one move out, it would have been better. And here, I like the oracles. I like the extra oracle, but I think against this many units, if your opponent is so committed, either we get a couple cannons, or we get some batteries, or we get the Diamond League Void Ray, as we like to call it, just a little bit earlier. But what was incredibly painful is that we were supply blocked for a little, like basically this moment. I like triple oracle. I think after triple oracle, we should have done a Void Ray. I think this unit right here, instead of an oracle, I think this should be a void. But it's alright. It's just now the supply block is very, very, very painful. And then we lose this pylon, and we are forced to cancel this. Like, this was a bad nexus anyway. Bit of a misread. That is 600 minerals that we could have spent in a different way, right? Cannon, cannon, battery, battery, quick avoid. I really think that we could have won this. Ah, that's a shame. That really is a bit of a shame. Not a bad series by LunaSea at all. Just turns out Cham is a tiny bit too good. Is a little bit better. Yes, Daka says, can I check Discord? I don't have Discord open, mate. Why? Don't tell me there is a problem, Daka. There can be problems on the Friday night. You know that, right? Your in-game channel. Okay. I will do that. We are on NA, by the way. You know that, right? Apparently the channel does not work for Daka. Let me see if I can add you, mate. I think I sent you an invite. Hey Roddy, it's been a few years since I played SC2. I watch it from time to time. What is the current state of ZVP? Seems like every time I catch a game, Zerg is dominating. It's kind of the other way around, mate. It's actually Protoss at this point is better against Zerg than it's been in a very long time. I would say it's in the best place it's been since 2014, 2015-ish. That was a little Heart of the Swarm era where I think Protoss was incredibly powerful against Zerg. But I can safely say I think that since the start of Legacy of the Void, Protoss has never been better against Zerg than they currently are. Cham, I think, is just a slightly better player than LunaSea. But LunaSea played a fine series. Honestly, this wasn't that bad. Hi. Anyway, we'll settle the prediction, take a tiny break, and get ready for the next. Yeah, I know, mate. Honestly, I like LunaSea. Nice guy, fun builds. He had a trio, didn't work out for him, but this honestly was good enough for me that I will gladly invite him again. And as I said, I kind of wanted to give him Eric. I wanted to give him Eggs or something. And those guys are really good too, but they're not quite Cham good, right? And based on this performance, I really do think that against those guys, he could have potentially turned it into a W. But it is what it is. We'll settle the prediction. You guys believed in Cham. Cham delivered. Let's get ready for the next. A fun one. One where the Discord predictions were all over the shop. Inexorable, aka Smifer versus Deka. BBB number 95. The winner gets 80 buckies. The loser gets 20. Inexorable. Brati. Deka, one of the many French piece. I'll give you guys 15 minutes. I think they are on Battle.net. They're currently doing their videos. Cham versus Bully is a banger. I love Bully, but that would be very difficult for Bully. If Bully ever... Like, Bully is coming to Europe this summer. And if Bully at one point says, Kev, come over here. And he sits me down. He's like, I've got an announcement. He's like, I'm ready for Cham. Give it to me. I'll look him into the eyes. I'll stare at that beautiful mustache, and I'll be like, all right, you want him, you get him. But until that day happens, I would personally not come up with Cham versus Bully. I'll take a tiny break, guys. I'll see you in a couple of minutes. In next to the ball, the Brazilian Terran going up against Deca, the French Protoss. I'll see you guys soon. $80 for the winner, 20 buckies for the loser. Vamos!